I'm a student advisor, class of 2013, so I'm a third-year medical student. Today we're just doing some water quality testing throughout MSUToday and some of the surrounding areas. Last year we looked at minerals. This year we're trying to see if there are some of the parasites and bacteria that are in their water and see if there's like a quick fix that we can do, just to improve quality, and working with some of the other departments at MSU. Just to maybe change a pore size or just the way they process the water, just so that they're not always getting sick, and we're doing a little bit more than just visiting, we're doing prevention.
So we're north of the town. This is basically the river that runs through the town. They get their water from here before they process it. So the first stop is this reservoir. We're gonna get some water samples. The next stop will be the processing plant. Yeah, so the end process is down through this hole. I'm gonna go down some stairs and basically get through the running water and hopefully not fall in. So.
And it's just a what down there?
It just looks like a small stream. It looks pretty deep. So this is, I guess this is the process we have to do to get this. So it'll be fun. Because I believe like the cornerstone of basically osteopathic medicine is prevention. And if they approached us last year, and if it was something that's, I investigated it and looked into it, and if it's something we can do and fix, then we're gonna do it.
Why is the work that you're doing here so important right off the bat?
Well, malaria is a major cause of both morbidity, sickness, and mortality, death in Malawi. A third of hospital admissions are related to malaria, and about a third of the deaths. So it's an extremely common cause of both illness and death.
This is a happy place. Malawi has got 14 million people. And to all those 14 million people, when they are sick with a condition which is serious, this is the place to be sorted out.
Good. And then we can do the 4 finger prick samples.
So if you look at 14 million people, and all we have are about 1,000 or so beds, in this place, most people actually walk out alive. To us, that's happiness, a lot of happiness.
So I first came to Malawi in 1999 as a student. Really enjoyed my time here. Met Terry at that point, Terry Taylor, and kept up contact with her after that. And then when I was searching around in 2004 for a career, a quote-unquote career, I contacted her, and 2004 was the first time I came out here as a volunteer for 6 months to see how I liked it, whether I would fit in with the program there. And I've been coming back ever since. 6 months, 6 months of every year, just like Terry does.
Oh gosh, let's see, the first malaria season was 1986, 87. So we're coming up on 25 years. And had I known, I might have bought a house instead of renting all this time. But the reason to come was because the Ministry of Health identified this as a problem, severe malaria in children, and the circumstances were very auspicious to be able to start a project in a setting where a medical school was imminent. The reason to stay is because one set of questions has led on to another set of questions, to another set of questions, and we've been able to develop a series of collaborations with Malawians. And when we started, there were 2 Malawian doctors in the country, and now we have a host of graduates from the medical school. So it really becomes a national undertaking rather than a question that a few outsiders have come in to look at. She looked like a quiet, usual malaria patient and suddenly stopped breathing.
This building houses the only magnetic resonance imaging unit in this part of Africa. It came mainly to support malaria research in trying to find out why children with cerebral malaria die. This came about because we observed for a long time that when you give the same treatment to 2 kids with cerebral malaria, one recovers, the other one doesn't. Sometimes the one who recovers will have had the disease process for a shorter period than the one who does not recover. So you need to find out what's the difference between the ones that die and the ones that recover.
So we'll have to see. We were wondering about, there wouldn't have been time to do a second image.
The next closest will be in Harare. That's about an hour's flight away. Not only a flight away, but it's very expensive for somebody to afford it. Now with this MRI, we have a lot of people who, I need to say, would have died or would have ended up on a wheelchair. But when they come here, those problems are sorted out and they come back home alive or walking, and they avoid both death and a wheelchair because of the services that we have now.
As I understand it, you're treating malaria here, but you're also researching it. How does that dovetail and blend together?
Well, much remains to be learned about the pathogenesis of malaria, actually how the malaria parasite kills children that it infects. And the best way to do that is to make very careful clinical observations of the children. The best way to do that is to provide care.
So I always knew I wanted to do international health in some way. I'm an MD PhD, so I have both the MD and the PhD. And I really couldn't find a good mix of the two. Right after I graduated, I did a short stint of pure clinical. Didn't like it at all. Quit that very quickly. Then I did 6 years of pure research, bench research into malaria at the NIH. And I enjoyed that, but it is such a delayed gratification. There's no immediate gratification in that at all. Whereas here, I mean, this is immediate gratification. I mean, that may sound rather selfish in some ways, but I mean, you feel like you're needed here and you feel like you're doing something that has an impact.
So we provide the care, we make very careful observations, and then we collect samples from the patients, we collect samples of the parasites, we look at the MRI images, we do electroencephalographic tracings to look at brain activity, we look into their eyes. They're the best characterized cerebral malaria patients on the planet, probably, and we try to tie all of that together to work out how the parasite is wreaking havoc.